Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about 2026, the year ahead, what goals I have, resolutions, that kind of stuff, and just reflecting a bit on 2025. I personally am someone who loves New Year's resolutions. I don't know what it is, but for me, I think it's just to me like that time change from this year to the other year is very much like a pivotal moment, and then like it's defining a new chapter for everyone. And I feel like that is something that I just very much get excited by, because to me it's like there's so many experiences waiting for me like in this next year and all these future years. So I always like to try to kind of realign myself each year to think about like what do I really want to be intentional with this year, and what are the kind of goals that I want to, work on. And I also love to make like a mood board to kind of visually understand like how do I want my life to be reflected in 2026, and what are the elements that I want to cultivate. So, kind of with that, I want to talk a bit about 2025. So I was actually uh, talking about this with a friend of mine, and we were discussing kind of like how would we describe the year for us, and like what word do we want to describe 2026. And the word that we described 2025 was raw. I feel like 2025 for me taught me a lot of lessons that I don't think I fully could comprehend at the moment when they were occurring. It was a lot of pain, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of confusion, a lot of just like overall like trying to fight to make good decisions for myself while actively falling back into bad habits. And it was like just this bad kind of vicious cycle. So I feel like 2025 really just kind of put me through it. I feel like it was just very tough year, honestly. There's a lot of great moments and a lot of highlights, but overall, it was very, very tough, very mentally exhausting. And I feel like I learned a lot about myself, elements that I might not want to have learned, but I did. And it really made me kind of sit back and reflect and like look at myself and be like, okay, this is where you're at. This is what you're doing. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what what do we want to do now? Like, what elements we want to change? What lessons have we learned that we want to take with us, and like kind of apply those lessons into, new ways? Like, what did you learn, and how will you kind of let that define the next steps that you take? So, yeah, 2025, raw, a raw year, but still a good year, but a raw year, and probably one of the toughest years of my life. Like, one of the toughest. So, but with that, on a positive note, I wanted to kind of also reflect and discuss some of the accomplishments that I had in 2025, because I think sometimes I often will just kind of lump a year and being like, oh, that was such a bad year because like X, Y, and Z happened. But I sometimes need to like stop and look back and be like, okay, but like what good things did occur? So with that, I'm just gonna kind of read off this list, talk about it, and then kind of get into like, I don't know, what I'm hoping for 2026. And yeah. So, accomplishments of 2025. Started taking estrogen. That was a huge one. Began therapy again. Also a very big one. Started working 2 jobs. Began to save more money and work on my financial health. Started a YouTube channel. Heyo. Began vlogging and became more comfortable in front of the camera. Tapped into my photography more and created a wider breadth of work, which I'm very proud of. Accepted where I am at in life. Embraced more elements of kink within my life. Started posting on TikTok more regularly, i.e., movie reviews. I love doing movie reviews now. I've discovered this. But, anyways, yeah. Just in general, posting more and not caring. Began taking my antidepressants regularly. That was something I struggled with for a long time. I would not take them regularly, and that is obviously not good. So definitely take your antidepressants regularly, as your doctor prescribes, because I was not listening, and I was mentally ill. But anyways, yeah. And then the last two, I began laser hair removal. So very happy about that, trying to align myself with how I want to visually see myself more. So I feel like that was a good step, and it's a process very much, but slowly seeing results. So that's good. And then the last one was slowly cultivated my spark again. Because I feel like I really, in all of 2025, I didn't really feel like I had much of a spark. But honestly feel like as the year is ending, I feel I feel like I'm like slowly finding it again. And that honestly feels really good. Because for a lot of this year, it felt like hell. It felt like I was never going to escape, I don't know, the situation I was in. And I just was a really hard year because my mind was just felt like it was at war. It just felt like it was constantly trying to tear me down and find ways to make me doubt myself. And yeah, I don't know. It was just honestly like, it was just a really hard year living with this brain of mine. It really, yeah, pushed me to just, I don't know, a lot of sad, depressing thoughts. And it was hard to kind of sift my way through all those thoughts. I was easily consumed by it a lot this year, which really sucked. Like, this was probably one of my most depressive years ever, and that was really scary. It was really scary because it was something I don't feel like I'd really felt since I'll say like my junior year of high school, which was one of the toughest years of my life ever. So I feel like feeling that again was honestly like really, really terrifying, and sad and scary and just a whole bunch of emotions. But I'm proud of myself for being able to push through and still take steps to better myself. And yeah, I don't think I've ever felt more hopeful for a year than I have now. I genuinely believe 2026 is going to be an amazing year. Preface, life occurs, and as we've seen, like, the world is not perfect, and I'm sure a lot of horrible shit will still keep occurring in 2026. But like, I mean that in regards to like, I feel like in 2026 I'm going to finally be able to take steps to live the life I want and just cultivate more pockets of joy within my life. So that's kind of what I mean, is that like I genuinely just feel so excited and hopeful for 2026 because I feel like it is going to be a very good year for me mentally, physically, artistically, like all the elements across the board. 2026 full force. We're going ahead. It's the year of the horse, so we're speeding into 2026 and we're making choices and decisions and we're sticking by them, and we're not waiting around anymore. That's kind of how I feel with 2026, because 2025, I waited around a lot. I learned a lot of lessons, went through a lot of heartache, and a lot of that shit has really defined for me like what I need to work on and what I need to do. And now that I kind of feel like I have that information, I feel like I can bring that with me into 2026. So, on that same note, talking about 2026, I wanted to list out kind of my, I don't know, I have like 6 kind of mottos that I'm really trying to live by in 2026. But before that, how I discussed 2025, raw year. 2026, the word that me and my friend felt like we aligned with was focus. Focus. I feel like 2026 is the year where I'm really going to be deliberate about what choices I'm making, what energy I'm putting out, and also with that, like what I'm giving my energy to, and just being very, intentional about like what do I want to cultivate this year, and just like trying to find the ways to align goals and make them a reality. So 2026, we're very much focused. We are trying not to fall into bad habits. We're trying to break vices. We are trying to really just focus on ourselves and give ourselves the energy and love to kind of know that we have the discipline to really focus in and achieve these goals, no matter how hard they might be. So 2026, focus. That is the defining word for me for 2026. So with that, here are the 6 kind of mottos I have. The first one is to be intentional with your inner dialogue. Be open and embrace being uncomfortable. Judge yourself and others less. Be bold and don't shy away from what makes you, you. Find the joy in the present and accept and love the journey you are on. Place the power in you. Everything you need is within you. So those are kind of the mottos, elements that I feel like I'm taking with me into 2026. And yeah, I feel like now I can like look back and reflect and be like, I am honestly so insanely proud of you, Casey. I feel like you have done an amazing job this year. You have really put yourself out there more in ways that you thought you never could. And you took a lot of, I feel like, more bold decisions, and you will continue to do that. But I'm honestly, I'm just happy that I feel like I finally this year kind of accepted of like what is not making me happy and what do I want to work on to make me happy. And yeah, I'm just very, very excited for 2026 to make a lot of my goals a reality. One of the biggest goals I feel like that I have for 2026 is to move out of my parents' house, which I will. Still not fully sure where yet. Still trying to kind of understand and get more focused on like what feels realistic and like what feels like a good place to move to. But that will occur in 2026. And I think I'm also very much excited in 2026 to begin to kind of experiment with fashion again and embracing more femininity into my life, because I think that is something that I very much pushed away for a long time. But I feel like now I'm finally at the point where I'm slowly feeling, more feminine in my body, which is nice because it makes me feel like I'm, I don't know, in touch with multiple aspects of myself. Like I'm not just one thing. So I'm very, very excited for that. And I'm also just very excited to continue to make art and start to blend photography and graphic design together. That's a big one that I want to do with kind of doing a website redesign and shifting my focus on like, I don't know. I'm not just a graphic designer. I also like to do photography and make art. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of at the point where I'm viewing myself more as an artist. I'm not trying to kind of box myself into one certain label or category, which I don't know if that's good or bad in regards to career, but honestly, whatever. I'm just trying to embrace what I like. So yeah, I'm excited to create more work, continue to expand my interests, and yeah, just be creative, freaky, kinky, sexy, hot, beautiful, kind, loving, open, just so many elements. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel very, very proud of myself, and yeah, I feel like 2026 is going to be a really, really good year. I'm putting it out into the universe. I am manifesting 2026. I am going to the best of my ability, try to lock in and really just focus on the goals that I want to achieve. So, yeah, I think I'm also still kind of with my kind of mottos 2026, trying to get a little more intentional about like what those specific goals are. But I'm still figuring that out. I'm not putting pressure on myself to have that all figured out, but I know I have the mottos of like what I want to bring into 2026, and I think that's going to help me immensely. So, yeah, I'm excited. I hope everyone has a good rest of their 2025, and I hope 2026 treats you all well. I think we are all going to have, a year full of more change and growth and lots of emotions, good and bad. But I, believe that as long as we want to continue to grow, that each year there will always be, something beautiful to reflect back on at the end of that year. So, yeah. Here is to 2026, the year of focus. It's going to be a very good year, and I look forward to it. And I welcome 2026 with open arms into my heart. I am ready for whatever you have to throw my way. I am fully ready to take it on and go from there. So, yeah, thank you for listening to my, thoughts on 2025 and 2026. And yeah, hope you enjoyed my brain dump. Thank you.